started. So thank you everyone for coming out. So today was a little bit disorganized. Sorry about that. That's on me. Kevin's out. He's still in Mexico. Not sure if he'll be back ever. He'll be back next week, I think. Don't want to live stream today our speakers, so hopefully I heard Nathan project, so hopefully you guys can hear. I'll have the video up online tomorrow though. So once again, our website, our Twitter handle, and Twitch, which is relevant today. Is that better? Maybe. Here we go. The way it was.
That's not either way. This is probably just more light out here.
I think it's the 10th. So. All right, and thank you to our sponsors. So Fuse for facility, Wheelhouse for drinks. That I don't know where they're at. Just going I'm sorry. And Wildlands for helping put this on. Wildlands is hiring. If you go to their website, I think they have 2 engineer positions, full stack engineer positions posted. So if you're interested, go out there and take a look. I promised to always put a quote in, so I found this one, which supposedly is a Japanese proverb. Who knows? It says, "Better 1,000 days of diligent study better than 1,000 days of diligent study is 1 day of a great teacher." So hopefully, natives are a great teacher today. No pressure. We do have schedule coming up. So on February 6th, Vaughn is going to be presenting on API and testing. I'm not sure which language that's about, but he'll be speaking February 6th, and then March 6th, we also have Casey do an introduction to Git. It'll be, at my understanding, it'll be kind of general Git, but in depth each general category sort of thing. He presented during our lightning talks. Several months back, I think in July or August. And so he decided to do another talk on Git. However, April is open. If you would like to present anything, let me know. Go on the website and make a submission. So otherwise, I'm not going to take up too much time. Nathan is going to be talking about building that's a skill set. So thank you, Nathan. Do you have a
HDMI, is that HDMI right there? Should be HDMI.
So yeah, tonight I'm going to talk about building Alexa skills. I'm assuming you're all at least somewhat familiar with the Amazon Alexa. Hold on. Okay. Similar to Apple Siri, Google Assistant, everybody's got these voice UI, either devices or apps on the phone. So when you think of Amazon's Alexa service, you might think of one of these, which is an Echo Dot, or there's just kind of the main Echo. They've got a whole variety of hardware, which kind of goes to show it's a lot more abstract than that. So really, Amazon Alexa is a service that could run on any device, and Amazon actually kind of facilitates third-party usage as well. I can't think of any like super popular ones offhand, but if you wanted to build a device, I know there was a Kickstarter, somebody was going to make one for the car, which seemed kind of cool. But if you want to add Alexa to your own little Raspberry Pi concoction or something, they are willing to help you do that. Tonight, though, we're going to talk specifically about building skills for Alexa, custom skills. And what a skill is it's you think of, basically it's an app for the voice UL, right? So whereas, iPhone or Mac or whatever, you build an app that runs and it's got a graphical user interface. When you're building a skill, you're building a voice user interface. And we talk about conversational design and whatnot is kind of a growing field, actually applies to GUIs as well. But we're not going to get a whole lot into the design and whatnot. Amazon on their site have a lot of best practices and guidelines, tips for building a good skill. We're going to more just do a technical kind of deep dive into building what Amazon calls custom skills. Before we get into that, let's look at where does a custom skill fit into. I said Alexa is really kind of a service, right? Where does a skill fit into the service as a whole? So here's a diagram I stole from one of Amazon's developer blogs. It's kind of specific to one implementation of a skill. We'll get more into that later. But it's a nice overview of kind of the whole system, what it means to actually, use Alexa, what's going on behind the scenes. I couldn't get this paired with the Wi-Fi here, so you'll just have to imagine it with me. It's called a Dash Wand. I forget if anyone still make these, but for a while they were selling them for like $10 or something. Got a little barcode scan and whatnot, but it also has a microphone and speaker. So I was going to use this as my Alexa and talk into it, but still unhappy. But you can imagine, here's your Amazon Alexa powered device. This thing's going to talk to Amazon's Alexa voice service. So we've already got, some of the processing happening on this. A lot of the Alexa devices, or Echo, I should call them, devices you'll have in your home, they're busy processing, listening for the watchword to wake it up. Alexa, do something. As soon as you say Alexa, they'll light up. This one just more battery friendly, so you do have to just press the buttons. But there's plenty that happens on the device itself. They've got a little microprocessor running in them and kind of their own operating system. And then these devices, though, send, I don't honestly know if it's like raw audio or if it's kind of somewhat processed on the device, but it sends that to another set of computers, right, of the Amazon Cloud Service. And then that, actually, in the case of a custom skill, and I imagine internally for some of the building skills, calls to another set of computers, right? That's kind of the stuff on the right there. So it's quite a system. We can step back and just sort of say, okay, what's in the system? What does it take to get it to work? In some ways, it's fairly advanced technology, right? There's the Internet of Things. There's these cool devices that are, and then Amazon calls it, automatic speech recognition. They split it up into what it's doing. Automatic speech recognition is just, processing what you're saying and turning it into, say, text or something similar. They distinguish that, though, from the natural language understanding. It's kind of small here. I don't know if you can see. They give the example, you could say 4 miles, like a distance, right? Let's, this morning my run was 4 miles. Or versus, order a gift 4 miles, right? You got a friend or son or whatever named miles, right? So those are going to sound the same, but there needs to be some understanding. And then that leads to a desired outcome. You order something off Amazon, you put something on your to-do list, whatever our custom skill does, it happens. A light turns on, that sort of thing. So in some ways, it is pretty advanced. In other ways, it's definitely, in some ways, this word understanding, we're still not quite there. If I can click that link. How many are familiar with Apple? get it on that screen. You guys seen the Apple's Knowledge Navigator demo back from the 80s? Anybody familiar with that? Let's see if I can get it on the screen here. On my screen. Do you know, does audio come through this system at all? Okay, we'll just maybe skip it. But I'm sure you guys have seen like sci-fi movies, not sci-fi movies, right? Where people are literally, they're just chatting with their computer, right? And it understands them, right? And they can just say, oh, hey, remind me of this later, and look up my research paper that was about this, and how can you update those statistics, and integrate that. It's quite like it's stuff that even a human assistant might have trouble doing, right? That you see the computer magically doing. Well, obviously, if you've ever used Siri or Alexa, if you've ever used any of these, which I'm assuming, actually, show of hands, who's used, a voice assistant? Yeah, but quite a few suspected. Who's used Alexa specifically? Okay, yeah. So it's conversational, but it's still very much a computer. And I think as we get through this, you'll start to see why in some ways. So we've got this kind of technology that's happening, the speech recognition, the language understanding to a certain point. When we're building Alexa skill, we don't really have to worry about all that. Amazon takes complete responsibility for the speech recognition itself. And we really only have influence over the natural language understanding. That's another thing that Amazon's, Alexa service is going to handle for us. So if you look again at this diagram, this time I've kind of added, because the original highlights are a little hard to see. You see these dotted boxes. Those are what we provide, right? So this voice interaction model is sort of that natural language understanding bit that we sort of provide, or help influence. And then in this example, you see the lambda trigger over there. That's sort of this desired outcome. That's the code that actually does the work the user wanted to happen. And yeah, I sort of said this, but the understanding gets fit into a pretty simple model. So let's explore that through this a bit more terminology. Oh, one other thing to insert here. You see this image I took. They're showing, okay, you got to do a Lambda trigger through an Alexa skills trigger on AWS Lambda. It's really, as far as the system goes, your custom skill processing code doesn't have to, have any, it doesn't have to be Amazon hosted, and it doesn't even really, the blue block over there, doesn't really just have to be limited to Alexa processing. If you have an existing web app, you could sure add an endpoint to it, an API specific to handle the Alexa stuff that's completely integrated with your web app. Whether that's, best practice for your overall architecture, could be debatable if you want to see that. Oh, is this, oh, okay, nice, perfect. Perfect, thank you, okay. So we'll dive a little more deeply into that later. Let's get to the more terminology. We're talking about, understanding the language. That would be utterances, and the outcomes are kind of intents. Amazon has these terms, utterances and intents. So intents are basically what can the user do, broadly speaking, right? Think of them as like discrete actions. You could think of them analogously to like a button in a GUI, right? Or a command line tool that you know, is specific to one thing. It may have some options and whatnot, but, you know, each tool is kind of its own thing. Let's bring it home a bit with an example, which I won't quite be able to do here. But, so this is a skill we'll be returning kind of to this throughout the talk. But one of the more recent skills I wrote is an egg tracker. We raise chickens for eggs, and so every morning I'll go check to see if there's eggs. I'll tell Alexa about it. There's what I can do with this so far is I can store a record when hens lay eggs and retrieve the records in like a summary form. It'll give me statistics, basically. So in terms of intents, storing a record, let me back up a bit. So we saw there's two things that users can do, right? So that's going to map to two intents, two custom intents. They're basically string constants or enumerations that identify these actions. You know, Amazon's computers are talking to our computers, you know, in that diagram. Each one you can configure a bit, so in this example, the name of the intent there would be log entry. It's just a string, right? That identifies like, hey, the user is intending this to store a new record, or in my app, the other intent is show stats. That means the user wants to get statistics, right? So I can pull these up. We'll start diving into just kind of showing you later I may do some line coding, and mostly just going to kind of walk us through how this is set up. So we go to my egg tracker. I'll just one side note, I guess. This is the one that's live that I was hoping to do demos with. When you publish an Alexa skill, you kind of get two copies. So one's your development version, and then one's the other. So let's just go to the development version, and you can see here. Here are my two intents: log entry, show stats. You can see there's a little bit of configuration. We'll get back into that soon, but we've configured it there.
Is this site something that I can go on to?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I didn't intro that really well. But what this is when you log in, and I've got a link at the end of my slideshow here that will kind of get me into this world. But have you ever used EC2's like console, or not EC2, but Amazon Web Services? Right. Okay. But when you go into like developer, I'm assuming actually if you go to developeramazon.com/Alexa. And then I am already signed in, but you can go to your Alexa consoles once you're signed in, and that's, they've got this user interface. There are command line tools to do all this configuration and management, just like there is for Amazon's other web services. So far my skills have been pretty simple, and I just don't have like a real hardcore like deployment process. It's basically me going in here and tweaking settings, right? But yeah, this is just kind of the standard. You'll get through the documentation and stuff to test into this, and we'll go through kind of the process of creating a new skill, and we'll get back to this. But I just kind of want to show you how those intents show up here. Okay, so we talked about intents, utterances. These are what's the user going to actually say. So they're mapped two intents, but they need to be configured. So for each intent, you're going to configure potentially lots of utterances. So for my egg tracker, for the show stats intent, here's some English utterances, and I say that not to brag because I haven't actually localized it, but you could, right? If you were going to support multiple languages, you'd provide these. So by provide, I really mean, I have to go in and configure, tell Amazon, here's all the different things that I've thought of. You got to use your imagination for how people would convey their, intent. The intent is the internal computer stuff. The users care about this, right? So to show stats, I might say, Alexa, ask my egg tracker, how many eggs has the chicken laid? Or how many eggs have we gathered? Or just how many eggs, right? All these utterances are all sorts of ways to ask the same question and match to the same intent. The log entry intent about recording that, it needs a variable, right? How many eggs are we storing? Amazon calls those slots. So if I could demo it, if we have time, we can do it through the website as well. But you could say, Amazon, tell my egg tracker we gathered 5 eggs. The count bit there is Amazon calls it a slot. Think of it like a variable, right? So when Amazon posts this to our, hands this over to our API, we're going to know, okay, so it's the log entry intent and the count slot is, whatever the user actually said. Utterances can also sometimes be incomplete. You can have multiple slots, and sometimes they'll be incomplete. Amazon uses the example of ordering a plane ticket or setting up a vacation, right? You could do it all in one sentence. Amazon, book me a flight from Pasco to Minneapolis on February 1st, right? You could say that all in one sentence, or you could say, Amazon, book me a flight. And then you'd have to kind of program it, but you can slowly fill in the slots and have it say, okay, where are you leaving from? Where are you going to? When are you leaving, right? Once all those slots are gathered, then you have the intent, which would be book a vacation, right?
Quick question on the utterances. If you utter something that you don't have an exact match for, will it do some sort of, this is pretty damn close, and we'll shoehorn it in there?
Yes, that's a good question. The answer is, I'm pretty sure, yes, it will. I've definitely...
I guess provided it doesn't match anything else, but there's a high correlation.
Yes, and that's why in my slide I kind of put it halfway gray, because it's definitely you provide it and you have a lot of influence over it, but it seems to go in some kind of machine learning fuzzy thing, and sometimes you'll get...
So you are getting utterances that match that you haven't explicitly coded.
Right, yeah. I may, in my list, I submitted my list with plural egg, singular egg, because you could say 1 egg, 2 eggs. I suspect, and in my initial testing, it did work. Even if I just said eggs, right, I could say 1 egg, and it would match. It's definitely pretty fuzzy. I did actual, they say, submit tons, so I just explicitly put all stuff like that, but it definitely seems to be pretty fuzzy in practice. And fuzzy beyond, so what I found out kind of quickly, developing this, I think I kind of changed the name to somewhat mitigate this, but keeps thinking 8 egg and 8, at least the way I say it, so as I'm testing, we got 42 eggs, and it's like, you got 428 eggs. That's what I'm thinking, no. But yeah, you can see that here. You can see that configured slot. You can tell it's a number, right? So now it knows kind of what to expect. You can, they have all sorts of, there's airport if you want to leave, right? They have all sorts of predefined ones. You can also, just like you can give it a list of utterances, You can also create like a custom slot type and just give it a list of, possibilities. So you can have an utterance with a blank, and then with your blank, you can also say, okay, here's all the things that can go in the blank. Desserts, always a built-in device type. These are all documented if you needed to find out. Okay, here's 4-digit number, right? So mine's just number, which is a little unfortunate because apparently 0 is not a number. In the case of this thing, it doesn't matter a whole lot. I just roll with it, but yeah. And if we go here, you can see here's all apparently generated 96 utterances. And you can bulk paste them in. And of course, go through their API management tools that I actually, for this, I can show you later if we have time. I wrote a little JavaScript thing to help me not have to type these all myself. I just kind of,
So they don't have a regex language for it?
Not exactly. I sort of made, not quite regex, but I made this little array-based, here's the sentence that's common, here's 5 different options for this part, and so that's how you configure that. And you probably saw, I should have pointed these out when we were out there, probably saw 9 intents. There's actually other built-in intents. And for those, Amazon basically controls the utterances. Things like help intent, fallback intent that kind of also gets to your question. So if you say something to it, tell my egg tracker, I had a great day today. That's not anywhere close to any of my utterances. I will most likely get a fallback intent. So it would be, instead of Amazon help intent, it would be Amazon.fallback intent. There's yes intent, no intent, and then some of the requests you get actually don't have an intent because they're like session related and stuff, which we'll get to here. So that intents, utterances, slots, that's more or less all it is to Amazon's understanding, right? It's not magic. You provided a list of things that map to certain actions, These words get translated into a little string that's an intent, and it may have some variables in it. The user said something, Amazon assigns an intent to that and fills in your slots. That's the request, right? Your skill gets this little package. It's then responsible to make an outcome happen, right? So when I say, tell my egg tracker my hens laid 3 eggs today, my API then has to store it, right, in the database. That's sort of the desired outcome is I want that recorded, right? Or if I say, tell me how many eggs we've gotten, then the outcome is it has to go back to that database, run some statistics, and come up with the response. And it always needs to say something back, generally. So even if it was just, turn on a light or something, you could do that action, but Amazon wants us to confirm it. But that's the response. This arrow here kind of actually should go both ways, right? There's a request that goes over the fence, there's a response that could come back. And there's a really common protocol that's built around request and response. It's already on the slide, HTTP. And that's exactly what Amazon uses. And I've kind of brought up already, how many are web developers? Quite a few, okay. So when you're doing web development, you often have the concept of a session, right? Like you log in, and now every subsequent request is associated with that cookie session, or how you manage the sessions, right? The Alexa skills are similar. You can, my egg tracker is not a great example, both of my own skills aren't a great example, but you can just open a skill, start a skill, and then kind of have sort of a long-lived conversation with it. Your skill is then responsible for tracking like kind of where you're at in that conversation to a certain extent. Amazon will kind of store some of that state, but you can do kind of this long-lived interaction. Okay, so I couldn't demo the egg tracker directly, so we'll just go to that now. To test. Talk to it here. Okay. So, this will be nice because not only will we get to see the interaction, we'll also see over here the actual request and response that's getting handled by the servers. Tell my egg tracker my hens laid 42 eggs. So hopefully I can go find back these bonus entries and get rid of them. What on earth? Okay. Servers tell my egg tracker. Let's try that again. Tell my egg tracker my hens laid 42 eggs.
Recorded 42 eggs gathered, correct?
There we go. Yes.
Recorded 42 eggs.
There we go. So you can see here, with this last interaction, I just said yes, right? But if you look at the request that got sent, it's an intent request, which means it's not like begin session or end session or a few other things. But it's, here we have an intent, right? The intent itself is a log entry intent. So all I said was yes. But Amazon server knows, it has keeping track of some of the state for us, right? Like I said. So in response to me saying yes, now we have a, oh, here we go. This confirmation status, okay, is confirmed. So if I looked at the result here, this confirmation status before it asked that would have been false. But now we have a log entry intent that's been confirmed. I added that just to make sure it doesn't just go crazy with, if it misunderstands a number, I want to know it and be able to say, no, stop, before it actually logs it, right? But you can see here, slots, the count slot, ended up with value 42. And so in response, let me do it earlier. Tell my egg tracker our hens laid 42 eggs.
I will record 428 more eggs.
See, there we go. Okay, we'll dive into the code pretty soon. I was hoping it would show the actual, for example, this recorded 42 eggs. That's my code that's generating that string and returning it to Amazon servers, which then return it to the device and the device talks.
So where does it store that?
Yeah, that's a great question. You can store it, like I said, you don't even have to be on Amazon services. If you've got your own web app running already with whatever database you're using, you can use that. In this case, let's see.
So it's posted to your app.
Yeah, so it posts to my API. Let me just double check my slides. I don't want to get too far ahead, but we'll definitely cover that, if not in the next slide. Yeah, so to just quick answer the question right now, I'm using Amazon's DynamoDB in this particular skill. But it's really, there's that fence where there's this HTTP request that Amazon makes to you. You do whatever you want with it, so long as you just give a response, right? So, Alright, so we'll get back to the details and we'll go through, just kind of do the source on this egg tracker. But let's start at the beginning, sort of, and get back to some of the stuff we skipped over. So, we're really just going to focus on three things tonight. When you create a skill, it needs to have an invocation. So, in this egg tracker's case, it is my egg tracker is literally the invocation. It's basically the name. It's, I can't just say, Alexa, my hens laid 42 eggs. I have to say, Alexa, tell my egg tracker my hens laid 42 eggs. Like, with all of Amazon's built-in stuff, they seem to kind of all just be in the same namespace, but for the custom skills, you kind of have to point Alexa to the custom skill before they recognize, which makes sense because, for example, I did this egg tracker when they were running this promotion where you get an Echo device if you submitted a skill by a certain date. And it turns out once it went live, I went to the Amazon app or the Alexa catalog and searched for egg tracker. And lo and behold, there was another one that was submitted like a day before mine with like literally the same invocation name and some of the same utterances and stuff. So, if I enabled them both, sure, since the invocation name is the same, I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. But you can imagine multiple skills, if you have your multiple lookup apps, multiple vacation planners or something, right? They're going to have similar utterances. So for now, at least, Amazon's just...
Or just fuzzy matching that might fall over to a completely different thing.
Exactly, yeah. I suspect this search space, if they try to just cram all the skills the user has enabled, it ends up like being probably expensive on their end or something. So it's kind of, I think it gets farmed out
To screw up.
to individuals. Yeah. So you have to give it a name, and that actually, the user is going to have to use that name as well. Utterances for each intent, like we saw, you also have to give it the API import. You have to say, okay, for this skill, talk to this web server, right? And you also, to actually publish a skill, you got to have, marketing stuff and description and icons and all that kind of stuff. We're not really going to mess with that tonight, but alright, so let's go back to here. So then the Alexa developer console here, and we've got this button. Create skill. Skill name, what's that called? Okay. Skill. Try on. It's a custom skill. Yeah, we'll talk a bit more about these others here, but here's the custom skill here. Create the skill. And pretty much most of what I've talked about pertains specifically to custom skills more so than those other skills. We'll start from scratch. You can see they have easy, if you've ever looked at the Alexa catalog, you'll see like 10 million fact skills and stuff. Probably also that same promotion that week. Everybody had submitted, every state, Alabama facts, Arkansas facts, is there a state that starts with B? I don't know. All kinds of facts. But we're going to do from scratch skill. Okay, so now we're back to kind of what we saw before, but we're going to invoke. Okay, we must have just pre-filled it from our name. But because we called it demo skill, I think I have a different name. Demo skill. So, the name in the app catalog is going to be demo skill if we were to submit it, and we'll just leave the invocation name demo skill too. But we could do like I did with my egg tracker, we could call it my demo skill, or we could call it the full stack demo skill or something like that. We'll just call it demo skill to keep it simple. We'll see there's these built-in intents, all that cancel, all that other stuff. But we don't have any of our own. So we're going to call this one thing1, or I don't know, anyone think of what do we want this skill to do? Tell a joke, not do a hardware integration, but really this isn't something the user sees, so we'll just call it thing one or action one. So we'll create custom intent, and we'll say the other entities do the thing.
About keep track of attendance, full stack meeting.
Oh, yeah, we could. Yeah, well, yeah, for now, let's just keep it as like without slots. So,
Full stack down there.
demo for, okay. Slots. There we go. So we could say, we could tell our, demo skill to do the thing. And we should get an intent, action one, intent internally. And we could say demo for full stack, we'd get that same intent there. Okay, so once you do that, gotta save the model, and like I said, there's like machine, I don't know what, like, they're using Google's TensorFlow or what sort of thing, but there is kind of this compilation thing. So if we go to test right now, it's going to be upset because it's not ready. The valid interaction model is like, what? We created an interaction model. Why is it unhappy? Well, we haven't actually built that interaction model. So let's go back to intent and build the model. Saved, build started. We'll wait for that to pop up hopefully in a few seconds. Maybe. A lot of people are working on Alexa skills this evening. There we go, build successful. Okay. So now we'll go to test. We should be able to turn. Oh, forgot the one other way. I said there were 3 steps, right? I did 2. We go to endpoints. You can just point it with my egg tracker skill. If we went into here, we'd see that it's pointing to that's Amazon resource number or something. If you do it all within Amazon, you can kind of do some extra features, but you don't have to. You can just say for this, go to temp.icon. Okay, so I've given it a URL that it will send, that'll, do these requests to. So now if we go back to test, this will not work yet because I don't have anything set up at. Actually, I kind of do. So I've actually got this forwarding to a service on my laptop. Okay, yeah, okay. So, it's still not going to be totally happy, but we should see something happen here when we do this. Okay? Okay. In this case, I'm just going to actually just type into this test thing, and it skips the speech processing bit, and it should help. So already, right?
With the requested skills response.
Okay, so kind of expected that right now, but what you can see is in the request. See that debugging. You can actually see it gave us 2 requests here. So the first one. Okay, there we go. So if you can look, there's no spaces or pretty printing. You can see here the type intent request, the request ID, the intent, name was exactly what we gave it, right? Action 1. There's no confirmation needed for this in time. So, if I were to change my server code here, I could actually have it respond properly to this request and say something back. Hopefully, what time is it?
And it wants the JSON back?
What's that?
It wants the JSON back?
Yes, kind of. So it actually wants XML within JSON somewhat. You can just provide a text, but as far as the response goes, and again, the Amazon's got the full documentation. You can give it just text, but if you want to do like expression or slightly different voice or little tiny nuances or that kind of stuff, you can actually give it this sort of XML markup or HTML style, with the angle bracket tags.
And they give you all the variables and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They document all that. You can actually, here's SSML, so you can just, they let you play with it here, see if you can hear it.
I want to tell you a secret. I am not a review. Can you believe it?
So there you go. You can return this within your JSON as that. The other thing, let's see if it will do, I don't know, you probably didn't see it because it was down here. Tell my egg tracker we got 2 eggs.
Recorded 2 eggs gathered, correct?
No.
Okay, I won't record that. Standing by.
Oh. Not only can you return a text response, but Amazon actually has screen devices. And you can return images and markup. So in the case of this scale, let's just do an actual entry.
Now, when you're returning a screen, that would presume you've got some sort of device that has a screen on it, and not like your handheld device. It's going to just ignore that.
Exactly. Yeah, your handheld device or that Echo Dot that was in my first slide there. Exactly. And you can. So if you look at all that, well, I did this from the developer console. You can see it talks about viewport, touch, single. You get a lot of that metadata along with, the actual request here. There's also a lot of stuff about, here's your session info. This is application. You can use it to kind of verify that it's actually Amazon services and not some hacker who's pretending to send you requests kind of thing. Here's some stuff about the device, right? Supported interfaces. I guess this is if Amazon has some APIs. For example, one of the ones I saw, the user can track lists through the Alexa service, right? And your app can actually interact with those lists through an API. So the flow actually gets kind of complicated then, right? Amazon's Alexa service gives you a request. You may talk back to the Alexa service using that API key, right? And say, hey, what's on the user's list? It'll give you that, and then you can use that to form your actual response, that kind of thing. So there's these requests, there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. But yeah, one of them, you can kind of tell what device they're on. You don't really have to, once we get into the egg tracker source code, I just give the data for everything. So I say, well, say this, show this, done, kind of thing. And then if there's no show on the device, it just ignores it. But you can get fancy, like, hey, if it's a little screen, show this. If it's a big screen, show that. So, rather than doing live coding and kind of trying to process this JSON with Python here, okay. So yeah, like I said, we've configured this skill, but we really haven't implemented step 3. I had this little Python thing running on my laptop that literally just barfs out what it got and returns something that Amazon service isn't real happy with. So let's go to, yeah, sorry, these slides are kind of slow. We saw when I was creating that skill, there were a few other options. We're doing a custom skill. There's also kind of cookie cutter skills. Not to denigrate them or whatever, it's just that there's actually a little less coding you have to do. So flash briefing is, you can say, Alexa, what's my flash briefing? Users can sort of subscribe to multiple services that deliver flash briefing. So you wake up in the morning and you say, what's my flash briefing? It says, you know, today, last night, your favorite sports team, blah, 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 or do the morning headlines or this or whatever. To do a flash briefing, you don't have to give it an API endpoint. You just give it like an RSS feed endpoint. You know, video and music skills. So we love to use it with like Spotify or whatever. If you have your own music service, you can write a skill. You know, it's kind of public stuff. You can write a skill that interacts, and the API for that's a lot different. You know, same with like a video skill. You know, Netflix or Amazon movies or whatever. Same with smartphone skills. There's kind of a different API than the one we're playing with here. And a lot of times the models themselves, the utterances and intents and stuff are Amazon handles, right? You just say play the song, whatever, and that's, you know, it just does it. So different configurations of those. But let's look at how we did this custom skill here. For my big tracker, how many have used Node.js? Done JavaScript? Yeah. So that one's JavaScript. What languages do you guys use?
Python, Django.
Python. Okay, cool. That works as my fallback demo. If we have time, how are we doing on time?
I think we're good, yeah.
Okay. And you're welcome. I mean, maybe I'll kind of take a break, and then if people want to circle around the laptop or something, but nobody has to feel obligated to keep listening. The other thing I'm doing with the custom skill that you'll see, in contrast to the Python, if we pull that up, is I'm using Amazon provides an Alexa SDK library. So when we pull up the skill, let's just get that going here. You're not going to see like much raw HTTP. I'm not going to be parsing JSON. I'm not even really going to be doing like, you know, handle post and that kind of stuff. Popcorners. Okay. So, you guys see that? I can probably make it a little bigger. Like that. Okay. So, here's where I'm doing Alexa skill stuff, just kind of some basic boilerplate, set up some database table stuff. Let's actually skip to the bottom here. The way Node works is you export a handler. That's actually how Amazon Lambda works. So we're running Node code, Amazon Lambda, when it grabs this code bundle that I give it, it's going to look for a handler. And in this case, my handler is kind of built for me by the Alexa skill library. I'm saying it's a custom skill. We're going to add request handlers and an error handler, and then we want to return something that's suitable for processing that request. So really, the interesting stuff is in these request handlers. So let's go back up where we started to the long entry handler. Okay. So my log entry handler is kind of this little dictionary. It has two methods, so to speak. There's a can handle method. So when the Amazon library here, the kind of thing I'm building, configuring here, when it gets the incoming request, it's going to pass it off to each of my handlers in order and say, hey, can you handle this request, right? And I'm going to say, well, if it's an intent request, rather than like a session request or whatever request, and the request intent's name is log entry, then this is going to return true. And then it's going to call my handle method. So, in that, we're kind of extracting here, request, dialogue state. So, this was that kind of confirmation. I say, tell my egg tracker to record 42 eggs. And it's going to come back and say, do you really want to record 428 eggs? And I'm going to say, this is the code that handles that. And again, there's not much there because this is kind of built in using the toolkit. If I were just processing the raw JSON, I'd get a little more logic here. But basically, there's this add delegate directive that says use what I've configured in the console to handle that. If you look on the log entry, I say, does this syntax require confirmation? Yes, it does. So one thing I'll point out here, you see here, recording, count, eggs gathered. So it'll echo back, you heard that happen, right? What happens if I say 1 egg? You know, record 1 egg, and it'll say recording 1 eggs gathered, okay? By default, by using this handler. So that's something I should probably improve. If I handle this myself, I could look and say, as you'll see I do later, but I could look and tweak the response. But in this case, it's just using this kind of configuration from the console here. Do it for me. I was in a hurry, wanted to get my Echo Show out of deadline kind of thing for promotion. And we just return that response. If the user says, so now, if the confirmation status we're getting from this sort of this handle method might get called 2 or 3 times or something as the user, well, 2 times basically. So the first time it won't be completed, this will ask that question back. If I say no the second time, if I say no, then it will speak. Okay, I won't record that. Or and then I'm honestly not sure how to trigger this as a user, but I think if you just give it a blank stare, don't say anything bad, it may kind of say, this is kind of fallback text that, and the Alexa service may decide to prompt the user with later. But for the sort of main path, which is, it's not, when it's completed, basically, but not denied, that means it's confirmed. So in that case, we're going to grab the user ID from, remember that request had the session field in it. We grab the set right here. So session right here. Somewhere is the user right here. So session.user.user ID. So there's my user ID. And we'll just, this is kind of just the business logic, to call it. Here, I am actually recording it using, I happen to be using DynamoDB, but this could be a SQL insert statement that I push out to my SQL driver, or it could be, whatever. So I put that to the database table that I've configured for it. I've generated, here's the user ID, right, entry time, entry type collection, and then the value, which came out of request intent slots dot count. This one here will count that count in the actual. We get the value out and store it to the database. And then here is where we're actually responding, right? So I get recorded, and then this is just like a pluralized helper. So if value is 1, it'll say egg. If it's 0 or 10 or whatever, it will add an S to that. And now we do this response builder, so we speak that speech text, and then we make a color, which is the visual thing, just gets an extra title and speech text, same speech text, so we'll read what you see. That made it a little more interesting down here, and that's basically the logic for handling that intent, the recorder logging for intent. Any questions there? Like I said, I don't want to totally dive into that code because everybody's logic is going to be different. But, so here's the show stats. So So it's the same thing, we're seeing if the request is even an intent request. And then if it is, we're seeing if it's now the show stats request. And to handle that, we need the user ID again. And now we're going to query for, this is just the DynamoDB thing. We're going to query for documents where the records, where the user ID is this user, right? And then we're going to get the results. We're going to filter them to the right types, sort them by time. We're just doing some processing to actually do here. Let me just demo that in practice so you can see what we're even trying to do. Ask my egg tracker, how many eggs have we gotten?
You've gathered 235 eggs total. 116 in the last 30 days. 104 in the last week. 44 in the last 24 hours.
So it comes with recording 42 eggs all the time and testing it. Then this again goes back to your earlier question, have we got junk? I don't know, but it still matched the intent, it's still very fine. So that's what this thing is doing, is it's kind of adding up those tallies. If you've only been using it, this is just logic for if you've only been using it for like a day, it's not going to tell you got one today and one in the last week and one in the last year. It's just going to say you got one today, kind of thing. So again, here I'm just doing a lazy thing where I'm just showing you what you said. But my goal here, what I'm wanting to add soon, is actually do a graph of sort of the egg production by day or by week average. And so then it can just tell you what you almost heard. But if you have a device at the screen, you'll also get a cool graph. So, and again, here's a case where generating that graph might be a little expensive. So in that case, I would check the request to see, hey, do they even have a screen? And if they don't, I'm not going to bother generating it. And then you can see there's a few other request intent handlers. I actually just got an email from Amazon where they kind of do automated testing. So over the weekend, or right before the weekend, they noticed that I'm not, well, you know all that. In a few cases, like if you just say open my egg tracker, it just says, sorry, something went wrong. And I need to actually add maybe an intent handler or a session handler. But you can see I've already handled help intent. So if you just say, I honestly haven't been able to load this myself, but there's a way that you can ask for help from the skip somehow. And then this will tell you just kind of instructions, right? Here's the slightly more interesting, here's the one I know how to trigger, right? Is if I say, tell my egg tracker I'm feeling fine. I've never seen that before. What it's supposed to say, sorry, I didn't understand that. Yeah, you got me. And then error handler or something. So, that's kind of a sample implementation in Node. Like I said, this does not look at all like HTTP or whatever. It's its own thing. You'll want to find the documentation for that. And I'm pretty sure they have libraries for most popular languages too. So you'll probably be able to find a library there. Let's just make sure I don't have any other slides much. Okay, with this I'm going to just hold off on, and if you want we can kind of play around with it. But otherwise, here are some links. I will post, I'll post these slides somewhere and get Michael a link to them. Okay, perfect. But yeah, I'll try to get these posted and out to the group so you can see. That's kind of a good entry point to just learning more, seeing Amazon's stuff. All this code, as I'm showing you, is on GitHub. I had another skill which I didn't really show you, but the first skill I wrote was a Hanford Friday or tracker. Where you can say, hey, is it Hanford Friday? And I've got a web service that kind of has the schedule. You know, not many people actually, as I was building the skill, I'm like doing research, it's like, yeah, not many people do Hanford. Are you guys all familiar with Hanford Friday? Some of you maybe. So, Ken, do you want to explain it? I've probably been here longer. But
It was just basically every other Friday was off.
yeah, for most employers in the area. Yeah, so.
I don't know why or
Yeah.
there's no reason for that, but.
Yeah, now I think they've all kind of migrated to like 4 times. But it used to be, when we first moved here, it would be, you want to go camping or something, and it's like, well, if it's Hanford Friday, there's not a chance, because everybody's going to be out for their long weekend. But if it's not a Hanford Friday, then maybe we've got a chance to get a spot, that kind of stuff, right? So anyway, that was a simple one, but the code's also there. That one's even simpler. I don't use the Alexa Skills SDK. On the other hand, there's really just one intent. Basically, that one, no matter what gets requested, it just tells you the answer, because it was easy, right? I didn't have to handle fallback or help or whatever. It's just like, well, this only does one thing, so whenever we get pinged by the Alexa service, just tell the answer. That's it. So, yeah, any other questions? Otherwise, we can kind of pull up some code here. Do you have some outro stuff here too?
Oh, you're done.
Okay, yeah, I can be done now. But like I said, if anybody's interested, we could play around with kind of doing the raw JSON stuff, I'll play. Okay.